So I want you guys to picture this. I'm sure that you can see this time and time again. But I want you to picture someone who says something, right? They have a belief, they have whatever, and you know that they're wrong, right? You can give all the evidence under the sun to show them that they're wrong, challenge their beliefs. And no matter what it is that you do, no matter what it is that you give, these people, whoever it might be, still stands firm in their belief on said idea. I guarantee everyone knows a situation very similar to this. And in this video, I want to talk about this idea as well as a concept I learned here the other day on one of the books I was reading, and how you can do some introspection and use it to your advantage. So, you guys know one of these people, and it's very frustrating, right? Now, I talk about this a lot, right? Evolutionary psychology, psychology, science of the mind. I believe is super important for everyone to learn, and our ego very important to us, right? For us as people, it's not about what is actually true; it's what makes us feel the best, right? This a lot of ideas behind that on like why that is, but that's outside of the scope of this video. The scope I wanted to touch on is this idea of a doctor versus a lawyer and how you can use it to your advantage. So the example that I just gave, right, with the person who, even though they're wrong, even though you know they're wrong, you can prove them wrong, they still are standing firm to their ideas. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing about this that is probably pretty obvious, but I think is lost in translation sometimes. That person who believes in the idea that they're doing, chances are they truly believe it, right? Let's say they believe 1 plus 1 is 3, and you prove to them, all sort of mathematical logices. No, logices. I'm just trying to make up words at this point. You show to them all the mathematics under the sun, right? You show to them 1 finger plus 2 finger equals 2, and they still don't believe you. Chances are they truly believe that 1 plus 1 is still 3. And this idea comes down to this lawyer doctor. So I forget what book it was I was reading this in. I think it was Social by Matthew Lieberman. I could be wrong, but regardless, there's two sides of the human psyche. There's two sides of how we think, right? Our consciousness, if you can quantify it, is that. Number one is the lawyer, and number two is the doctor. Now, what is the difference between these two? The doctor slash scientist is someone who takes something, or how does it go? Is someone who finds a fact, an idea, and tries to prove it right. Or sorry, looks at it. Okay, I'm just going to start with the lawyer first. The lawyer is someone who takes an idea and tries to prove it right. So if you see 1 plus 1 equals 3, the lawyer is going to try and argue how does 1 plus 1 equal 3. The doctor is the other way around, right? They're going to see stuff from an objective view, and they're going to try to prove it right or wrong from an objective standpoint. That's what I'm looking for. The doctor is objective. The lawyer is subjective. Now, us as people, we have both of these inside of us, right? And this was the idea that Matthew Lieberman was talking about. I think it was the book Social. Pretty sure it was the book Social. Maybe it was Subliminal. Regardless, it doesn't matter what book I read it in. But we as people have both of those in us, right? We have the scientist and the doctor, and we have the lawyer. Now, we are good doctors, but we are amazing lawyers. And the lawyer is the first example that I gave at the beginning of this video, right? They took an idea that they believe and they're trying to prove it right for themselves, right? There's so much ego behind that. There's so much, belief systems. It's a huge topic, but if this can boil down in simplicity, trying to keep ideas simple, as Einstein said, I'm making a running total of the best quotes that I hear. Quote that I heard from Einstein here the other day was like, keep everything as simple as possible, but not as simple, or something like that. And basically what he means is keep everything as simple as it can be, but not too simple, right? You don't want to oversimplify something, but keep it as simple as you can. As this boils down in simplicity, you have to realize that there's two parts of you. There's the parts that's going to be objective. So you're going to see something, you're going to look at it from, just purely trying to get the facts. From an objective standpoint, right? You don't care if you're right or wrong. You're just trying to get the right idea. Then you're going to have the lawyer. And this is way more powerful. This is one that's going to overrule your thinking process more than the doctor or the scientist. And this is, once you have a good idea, you are going to try and prove it right. You're not going to look at, the logical things behind you. You're just going to try and prove your idea right. Now, there's a lot of problems that can stem from that, right? I don't even have to say that. You guys know this. I believe, my philosophy on life. I try to be a realist, right? I believe optimism, Jonathan Haidt, the happiness hypothesis goes into that a little bit. But, an optimistic standpoint is better than a pessimistic one, right? You're always going to want to look for the good. You don't want to be overly optimistic, right? Like if your whole entire, no, I won't say that. It's kind of crude. Let's say you don't have any food, right? You can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get food tomorrow because I'm thinking about food and I'm manifesting it." That's over optimism, right? But you can be optimistic and say, plan for it, right? Say, I could get food, but I'm still gonna plan for it. Blah blah blah. The idea. What was I trying to make there? I forget what idea I was trying to go. I just came off of night shifts, by the way. Super tired, super loopy. But going back to the main thesis of this video, our lawyer is way more strong than our doctor. And you have to realize that this is something you're going to see time and time again. Now, to leave you with a lesson, to leave you with an idea about this, try, right, to realize, or not even realize, try to catch it. Whenever you see a lawyer thought, whenever you have an idea, and let's say someone tells you you're wrong, you're instantly going to be defensive, right? That's how we work. I want you next time when you see yourself getting into this, think, okay, I'm actually going to look at this from an objective standpoint. He could be right, very well. And I'm going to see, where it takes me from there, right? And when you do that, you're going to be more successful. Oh yeah, the idea I was trying to get on, a realist, right? You should be a realist. You shouldn't, be guarded by your ego and ideas that are wrong, but you think they're right. So you're going to try and prove them right? No, right? You want to see stuff for what they are. You want to see it for, see stuff for what they are, right? Objectively. You don't want to believe something just because you're blind enough by your ego to accept it. So that's that, right? That's the lesson for this video. Hope you guys got some value out of that. DM me on Instagram if you want to talk, have any questions, anything like that. If you want my books that I read, trying to read a book a week. Been kind of slacking lately. I think I'm 2 weeks behind. Regardless, still read like 9-10 books this year, which is awesome. But DM me on Instagram. If you guys look at starting an AI agency too, chances are you probably see one of my AI agency videos. Make sure to join that free Discord that I have. I'm actually on call right now with 2 of my boys. Just taking a break to make this video. But yeah, that's that. Hope you guys got value out of it. Make sure to stay tuned for more. Drop in everything I learned, right? Documenting the journey, everything that has helped me, and just concepts, ideas, everything of that sort. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.